screen. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go, and if you can't watch the whole thing, that's fine. I will record this so we can all check it out later. So we're gonna do the buyer conversion class today. So the purpose of this class is to teach an intentional, proactive, and focused approach for helping buyers find and purchase their perfect home. Upon completing the class, you should feel confident enough to enter into working relationships with serious home buyers. The result of the course is an expected 9 to 24 closings per year off of using the buyer conversion techniques and dialogues. Okay, this is the basic operational model that you'll see in all of the momentum classes. So there's always the thing that you're doing. It creates new people into your operational model, new buyers. For the purposes of this one, you're going to do open houses, network, farming, which is going to create new business. Then you're going to convert them to buyers. You take them down to your client care systems, where you're going to follow up, nurture that lead until they're ready to buy something, or they make an offer. Now they're a just sold client, so you market to that relationship as a just sold through Facebook posts. Hey, I just sold a home to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or did just sold cards to the neighborhood to try to generate more listings, or whatever the marketing is that you're doing. You can market to that relationship and hopefully get new business from that, but also referrals from that buyer, and then repeat business from that buyer when they're ready to sell in 4, 5, 6, or 7 years. So we just keep people in our operational model, and that's how you grow your business over time. So you're not constantly always bringing new people in. Once you get enough people into your system, you're getting repeat business, referral business from those people, but also getting new business from the just sold postcards, the door knocking, the circle prospecting, those kind of things. So what is this course about? Buyer conversion teaches associates the 5 stages of effectively working with home buyers. You'll learn to facilitate buyer conversations, identify the properties they want to look at, prepare showing packages, show them homes, overcome common buyer hesitations, and close the sales. So it's going to teach you, once we've identified properties you want to look at, you just go look at some homes, and if they're still apprehensive about making offers, even though you found them what you think might be the house for them based on what they told you, we're going to overcome those hesitations or objections and then eventually close sales. This class is designed to turn the typical agent into a highly respected and sought after buyer's consultant in our market, and the plans and scripts and tools are provided here. So what is the financial security of becoming an effective lead converter? So when you first start out, you're going to go through this, you're going to learn the dialogues, practice them consistently with people, and then consistently try to get leads in to convert them. So this course is about conversion. So this course is assuming that you've already generated a lead from some source, whether it's doing an open house, doing through Facebook, through your sphere of influence, through family, friend referrals, things like that. So this class is just talking about conversion only. So you've generated a lead somewhere, and this is how we're going to convert them. So let's say, for example, in all of the momentum classes, we're going to talk about a 45-week work year. We're not talking 52 weeks. So we're going to take a couple weeks off for vacation, take a couple weeks off for holidays, take a couple weeks off for this, so we're just going to say, hey, let's plan on working 45 weeks a year. So you're going to take holidays off, things like that. Say, for example, out of the 40, in your consistent phase, out of 45 weeks a year, you only set 1 appointment a week. So you get a buyer lead, you convert it to an appointment. So that's one 45 appointments set per year based on the buyer leads tree. So it's not a big deal, right? You need to have one conversation with a buyer that's willing to meet with you a week. So 45 a year. Let's say, for example, only half of them show up, because it does happen. You know, when we were doing, hey, let's meet in the office and go over a buyer consultation. You know, sometimes people would show up, sometimes they wouldn't. But now we're doing it via teleconference, so you're going to get a higher show up rate because this is easy for people now, right? Hey, can you jump on a video conference with me for 15 minutes? I just want to go over an introductory call or a buyer consultation really quick. Most people will say yes to that because they don't even have to leave their house. So, but let's talk about the numbers here. You set 45 appointments a year, one a week. Half of them show up. So that's 23 appointments a week that you have with buyers. Out of the 23, only half of them qualify, you know, based on finances or whatever. So that's 12 clients a year that actually qualify. And then only 75% of those end up buying. You know, some people's plans change. Hey, I'm going to relocate here. I decided not to buy right now, whatever it is. So you count on 9 closings a year just being consistent at this. Once you get efficient at it, which means you're getting better at it, you're generating more leads. You're going to get 2 appointments set a week. 60% of them show up. That means 54 meetings a year. 60% of them qualify because you're going to get better on the phone at pre-qualifying them on the phone. So because you don't want to spend your time going to a meeting or meeting with a buyer that you know is not qualified based on your initial conversation. So 60% of them qualify this time because you're getting better at that. That's 32 clients a year that you've had sign buyer agency contracts. Let's say 85% of them buy. So a higher percentage buy now because, again, you're getting better at the dialogue, you're getting better at the conversion, you're getting better at working through their objections about buying a house. So that's 28 closings a year, just being efficient at it. The proficient at it, after some time, you're gonna get more proficient at it. You're gonna set three appointments a week. More of them are gonna show up, more of them are gonna qualify, and more of them are gonna close. So you're gonna get 64 closings a year by getting really, really good at these buyer conversion stages. So what are the know, do, have of buyer conversions? So what do you need to know? What do you need to do? What do you need to have? So you need to know the dialogues. There's 5 different dialogues we're going to learn today. What do you need to do? Well, you need to convert the buyer, right? That's the whole point of this program. What do you need to have? You need to have the actual physical things you're going to have for your appointment. And again, these are all things, of course, you can do online too. I have the my role and your role sheets with our company letterhead on them. I'll share with you. Buyer's agency agreement, sales contract. So you're going to go over that sales contract with the buyer at that first meeting, just so they're familiar with it. Any addendum, and then of course some note cards to write after your meetings. So always want to check our attitude before we go into our meetings with our buyers. So what are some of the core beliefs that fit this program? So of course we live in a world of abundance. One thing over and over you're going to hear through this program is if they're not willing to meet with you, then they're not a buyer. It's even more so now because if they're not willing to jump on a video call with you or even just a regular phone call with you for 20 minutes to go over the buyer consultation, then they're not a buyer. A lot of people will get calls, hey, I just want to see the house. Why do I need to get pre-approved? Why do I need to meet with you first? We're going to talk about all those later in this program. But really, we live in a world of abundance, and you're going to save so much time if you can internalize that core belief to know that, hey, if this person doesn't want to meet with me, then there's plenty of other buyers out there. Processes and systems lead to successful results. Again, these are the processes and systems that we're teaching to get people to convert to buying a house, and for us to qualify them to make sure that they're actually going to buy something. Number 12, again, one you're going to hear a lot in this program: motivated, qualified, and loyal people buy homes. They need to be all 3. Okay, they're going to buy a house. They're motivated to buy a house. They're qualified. They can financially qualify. They can get a pre-approval. They're paying cash, whatever it is. But more importantly, they're loyal to working with you to buy their next home. So so they're going to buy, they're qualified, and they're going to sign a buyer agency agreement with you. Again, having a process reduces the risk that comes with buyers. What's the risk of working with a buyer? Well, the risk is that they don't buy, or they go buy with someone else, or you've shown them 15 homes and they decide that they're going to walk into an open house and write an offer with someone else. Having this process reduces that risk because we're going to make sure that we know that they're motivated, qualified, and loyal people. That reduces the risk. And again, number 13, if they won't meet with me, they are not a buyer. One thing you're going to hear a lot in talking to the buyers on the phone is like, well, I don't want to meet with you. I don't see a reason for that. I just want to look at the house. Okay, let's say, for example, the average home tour, depending on the size of the house or the person, how long they're going to take, 30 minutes to 60 minutes to look at a house. If they're not willing to jump on a call with you or come in the office when we're able to and meet with you face to face for 15 minutes, so you can make sure they're qualified, then they're not a buyer. They're going to spend more time looking at a house that they may or may not be able to buy rather than just coming in and meeting with you. And of course, the A buyers deserve my immediate time and attention. One thing you're going to hear from the Workman Success Systems Buyer Agent Mastery is what are A buyers, what are B buyers, what are C buyers. A buyers means appointment. They have an appointment to meet with you, or they have an appointment to look at a house with you. So they're always an A buyer after they have your appointment to meet with you, then you're showing them homes. A buyers deserve your immediate attention because that means they're going to buy in the next 30 to 60 days. So there's 7 vital buyer responsibilities that come with working with a buyer. Of course, number 1 is lead generation. Where am I going to find that buyer? Is it Floor Time? Is it Circle Prospecting? Is it Facebook? Is it my church or my nonprofit that I volunteer for? What is it where I'm meeting people to generate buyer leads? Number 2, lead conversion is what we're talking about today, attracting the person to working with you. Administrative prep, showing them homes, writing and negotiating offers, closing prep, and of course, post-closing activities when we're going to put them into those client care systems so we get referrals from them, we get repeat business from them. So each of the 7 vital buyer responsibilities has its own activities that go with that one thing. So number 1 was finding the buyer, right? So networking and farming, open houses, yard signs. If you get listings, you'll have your yard sign that generates buyer leads from people calling asking about the house because they may or may not buy that house. They might buy a different house. So that's, again, a lead generation platform. Internet, social media marketing, your own website, Lead Street, just listed postcards. You can do just listed postcards to apartment complexes, things like that, or any kind of marketing to apartment complexes that would be direct mail would attract buyer leads. The second step of this would be to meet in the office, meeting number 1, or meet online right now via teleconference or Zoom or Google, whatever you're going to use. Go to the conference room or the virtual conference room, and then get on the selling channel. Just means get in the right mindset. Make sure you're attentive. Make sure you're removing all outside distractions. You're going to meet just with that person face to face, and have no distractions. Have a buyer conversation. Build rapport, set the tone, uncover needs and wants. Prioritize their wants and their needs. Verify their motivation. Check their financial ability. Agree on roles and expectations. That's the the signing of the my role, your role, then the signing of the buyer agency agreement is number 6. And after that first buyer consultation meeting, whether it's online or face-to-face, send them a thank you letter. Hey, it was great to meet with you. There's some examples in the end of the booklet, but you can write your own. Create your buyer file in Dotloop is what we use. So we're not going to have paper files. We don't keep paper files on anything. Everything's online. Verify the price range of the lender, verify the price ceiling to the buyer. Like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, your lender said you could buy up to $250,000. Is that how high you want to go? No. We don't want to pay more than $175 or $200, whatever their comfort level is. Put them in your database system, Lead Street, which is soon to be Booge through Remax pretty soon. And of course, search the MLS and for sale by owner inventories. Make sure you're looking on Zillow for sale by owners, because most for sale by owners will pay a buyer's agent 3%. Try to get 4, but we can usually count on 3. And of course, call the listing agent to verify the availability of the homes that you're going to send to the buyer before you send them, because you don't want them to get their hopes up. Hey, this one's awesome. This is the house. Then you go to set up a showing and find out it has an accepted offer and they just forgot to update the MLS status. So check the availability first, put the showing package together, book the showings, meet in the office to go over. Number 16 could be meeting number 2 could be, hey, let's meet in the office. We're going to go over the listings that we're going to look at today, the homes that we're going to look at today. Then we're going to either get in my car or go in separate cars, however you want to do it. Review their buyer needs, explain the showing packages. Hey, here's a list of all the homes we're going to look at today. Here are the seller's disclosures. I printed those off for you. Do you have any questions before we go? Okay, great. You get in your car, I'll get in my car. We'll go tour homes. Then number 22 would be finalizing an offer if they decide to make an offer that day. The next step would be writing and negotiating offers. Send an offer to listing agent, negotiate acceptance, get their earnest money deposit, do everything, deliver signed contract to office, which would be via Dotloop again. Schedule home inspections, have the buyer work on their home, owner's insurance, Keep open communication with the listing agent throughout this process. And a lot of these is what our closing department does for you. So once you get an offer under contract and pass inspections, it's pretty much hands off for you. Your closing department will handle all that for you, so you can get out and work on converting and closing more buyers. And closing preparation, of course, schedule the closing that works for everybody. Communicate that with the buyer, communicate that with the lender. Hey, we have a clear to close. Where's the closing at? Make sure they know the closing location. If it's not at our office, what title company it's at. And once right before closing, we get the settlement statement to review, and then of course attend the closing, which again, once we're able to do that. Post-closing activities, get a testimonial from them, do it by a survey, ask them to do it on Zillow, ask them to do it on Google, whatever, or on your Facebook page. Whatever one thing that you want to promote for testimonials, just stick with that one thing. I've bought cars before and got an email from a car dealership like, hey, here's a link to our Yelp, here's a link to our Google, here's a link to this, here's a link to that. I'm not going to go give someone 5 reviews. I'm going to pick one. And if every person you send one to picks one different one, then you're going to have 3 reviews here, you're going to have 2 reviews here, you're going to have 1 review over here. So if you say, for example, I really want my Facebook page to be built out, I want to have 50 reviews on my Facebook page. Okay, then ask for the Facebook page reviews. Or I want all my reviews to go to Google because that boosts my rating on a Google search for realtors. Okay, I'm going to send a Google link for my Google profile to everybody that I close. Whatever it is, just stick with one thing because it's going to have a bigger impact if you have 50 reviews in one place than instead of 2 reviews in a bunch of different places. Look up just sold phone numbers and addresses. This is a little bit harder to do these days with no white pages, but you can at least send out just sold cards to the neighborhood. I use a company called Quantum Digital. It connects with their MLS. Every time I sell a listing, I get an email from them that says, hey, do you want to send out 100 just sold cards to the neighborhood? I click one button and they go. You could do the same thing in reverse. If you close a buyer, you can do one that says, I represented the buyer who bought this property at 123 Main Street. We had a lot of interest. We have a lot of buyers that were interested in this property and in your neighborhood. Do you or anyone you know in your neighborhood want to sell? So you can just do that for buyer side too. You just have to go create that manually in whatever, in Design Center or Remax or however you want to do it. Door knocking, or we call it circle prospecting. Circle prospect that neighborhood, the 50 closest neighbors. If it's in town, it's easy, 25, 50, whatever you're able to do. Call 100 neighbors. Probably not possible with cell phones, not a lot of landlines. Mail I do 100 or 150 depending on the neighborhood. When I do it, just based on cost, it's either $70 or $100 depending on how many, if I do 100 or 150. So again, whatever budget you're working with, it could be 100 just sold cards, it could be 300 if you want to have a huge impact in the neighborhood. Post-closing, follow up with the buyer a week later, follow up with them a month later. Hey, how'd the move-in go? How's your family? All those kind of things. Buyer department basics, results by design, that we use these programs and systems to get the results that we want. The mission is to ensure buyers who work with me get the home they want, but more importantly, want the home they get. That's one thing you're going to hear over and over again when we have these dialogues. Hey, I want to make sure you not only get the home you want, but you want the home you get. I don't want you to move in a month later and find out this isn't the house for you. The vision of this buyer department basics: serious buyers take an intentional, proactive, focused approach to finding and purchasing their perfect home. And again, we're going to go through this in the dialogues a little bit deeper. The model is relationship-based selling. We're going to work as a team. Here's what my role is. Here's what your role is. We're going to work together. I'm going to sell you a house. You're going to commit to working with me. It's a win-win for everybody. The approach is, of course, meeting the lender, the research, showing homes, making offers, inspections, and of course, closing. So what are the key indicators of success? It's really best early on in your real estate business to start tracking all of these things through a Google spreadsheet or however you want to do it. We want to know a couple things, like what percentage of the people that you actually start showing homes to buy homes. If you're showing homes to people and you find out only 40% actually end up at the closing table, okay, we need to figure out what do we need to do differently in our dialogue and our conversion, because I should have more like 70 or 80 or 90% of people that I show homes to buying houses. So again, track that from the beginning, early on in your career. List price to sales price ratio. So for the buyer side, when we have listing, we want to say, hey, we sold this for 99% of the list price, or we sold this at full price. That's great from the seller side when you're trying to get listings. But on the buyer side, you want to negotiate the best deal for your buyer. So you can say something like, I get my buyer clients 90% of the list price. I get my buyers 10% off the list price on average, or 8% or 12% or whatever it is. You want to have a lower list price to sales price ratio for your buyer side for your marketing that says, hey, if you work with me, I'm going to get you 10% off the list price. That's what I've done on average the last year. Average number of homes viewed, again, track this for every buyer. If you're consistently showing your buyers 30, 40, or 50 houses before they buy, again, we're missing something in our buyer conversion or our offer conversion that we need to work on and practice better, because we shouldn't have to show someone more than 8 or 10 or 12 houses if we do it right. Preferably less, but 8 or 10 is usually the average. And the buyer satisfaction ranking, once we do close, what kind of testimonials am I getting? Are they giving me 5 stars on Zillow? And then take your best testimonials, put them on your website, put them in your Facebook marketing, however you want to do that. And remember, what you track improves over time. So if you're keeping track of what's my conversion rate on people I'm showing homes to that are actually buying homes, what's my list price to sales price ratio, getting my buyers a great deal, what's my average number of homes I'm showing to buyers, and are they giving me 5-star reviews on all the platforms? So we're going to go through the 5 stages of working with a buyer. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this page because we're going to go through these one by one. Number 1, meet in the office or online is what we're doing right now. So don't be a reactive realtor, reaction. A lot of people get a floor call, they jump in the car and they go show a house without even asking them their name, without even getting their phone number. I worked at a few different real estate companies where I've seen this happen over and over again. You get so excited that you got a floor call, you jump in the car, someone says, hey, can you cover the rest of my floor time? I got a call, they want to see this house. Oh, great, who was it? Oh, I didn't get their name. Well, did you get their phone number at least? Well, I forgot to get their phone numbers. They just get so excited they don't even get any information. They go out and they meet a stranger at the house. And a lot of times that person doesn't even show up. So we don't be reactive. Let's be proactive about finding the person in the house. So what we're going to do is we're going to be a professionally skeptical consultant. Just because that person is calling to see a house does not mean they're motivated, does not mean they're qualified, and does not mean that they're going to be loyal. So we need to go through our process to make sure that we're not going to spend 2 hours of our day showing a home to someone who can't buy it, or a completely stranger that might be not safe to go show them a home. So the phone rings, it's a potential buyer, then you automatically get in your process that you're going to take them through. Of course, ask for the meeting. The first step in buyer conversion is not to sell them a house. Don't think too far down the road. Your first step is to get them to meet with you, to go through the buyer consultation. That's the one thing that you're working on right now. We're not thinking ahead, like, hey, I can't wait to get this person to the closing table. We put them in the process. First task, get them to meet with you, whether it's online or in the office, to go over the buyer consultation. Because the buyer consultation, we're going to uncover, are they motivated, are they qualified, and are they loyal? So you're going to ask on the phone, are you currently in the market for a new home? Hey, while I'm looking this up in the MLS, let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you currently in the market for a new home? Yes, I am. Great. What's your name? My name's Jeff, or whatever it is. Great. How are you going about finding your perfect home? They might say, well, I'm just looking online. I haven't really done anything yet. So if their answer implies that they're not being intentional, like, oh, I go to open houses every now and then. Well, hey, how would you like to use a proactive process that will ensure you get the home you want, and more importantly, want the home you get? Well, how would I do that? Great. It would begin by us getting together for about an hour or a half an hour, whatever you want to say, so I can uncover exactly what you need in your next home, define your financial comfort zone, and thoroughly discuss our roles and expectations we would have of one another in a successful working relationship. Does that sound something that could benefit you? They say, yes, great. I have 2 o'clock open tomorrow. Does that work for you? Or you can do the other close, like, hey, I have 3 o'clock today or 9 a.m. tomorrow. Which works better? So they have to pick one, Or if they say no, they don't think that'll work. Okay, well, share with me why you don't think that would work for you. Because they're going to ask you to justify the meeting, and they're going to say, well, a lot of other realtors, I've called a lot of real estate companies, and they just show me houses. Well, yeah, so you're just calling offices. That person showing you a house, you're not committing to working with them, right? So when we go through these dialogues, you're going to see all the stuff that is in bold. These are the most important things. We want you to internalize these dialogues, but not say them word for word. So the bolded items are the ones that are kind of important to say, and then you can say the rest however you want it. That's going to fit your personality. Time is limited, so you must choose to invest in vital activities only. Consistently emailing information to behavioral unwilling buyers is a high-risk venture and a hot stove issue. So remember, serious buyers behave like serious buyers. Can't you just email me the information? That's one of the objections you're going to get. Uh, okay, well, why do you not see a benefit in us getting together? Well, other agents don't make me do this. Exactly. Understand that I'm a real estate consultant and I'm extremely serious about what I do. I don't do this part-time. I run a business, and I'm not just in the business of showing homes. I'm in the business of satisfying needs, or I'm in the business of selling homes, or however you want to say it. I have a process that I use for all of my clients. Therefore, we need to do this before I start emailing you information, is to define your perfect home, make sure the homes that we consider fall well within your financial comfort zone, and thoroughly discuss our rules and expectations in a successful working relationship. So we're going to always talk about their financial comfort zone. We don't want to say stuff like make sure you're pre-approved or make sure you can buy, because a lot of people get offended. Like they'll automatically go into defensive mode. Like, why would you imply that I can't buy a house? It just makes them defensive. So we're always going to say something like, what's your payment comfort level? What's your financial comfort zone? We always know that lenders approve you for way more than you want. So what do you want to pay per month? So it's kind of spin that around, be like, hey, you know what? I'm sure you're qualified. I'm sure you can get more than you want. What is your payment comfort level? And we're going to work from there. And then we're going to thoroughly discuss our roles and expectations in a successful working relationship. I believe the best approach when investing a large sum of money is to operate as an intentional and proactive team. Wouldn't you agree, or does that sound fair to you? Yes, that's great. Okay, great. I have 2 o'clock today or 9 a.m. tomorrow. Which one works better for you? Or again, if they say no, that doesn't sound good to me, then okay, next we're going to move on to our next buyer. We don't step over dollars to pick up dimes. We can't force anybody to work with us. If they're not willing to at least meet with us to see if we want to work together, then they're not a buyer. So again, don't just be reactive and jump up and show houses to people without knowing if they're motivated, qualified, and loyal. So typical agents move straight to the car with all who claim to be buyers. Again, you'll see this happen a lot, or hopefully not here, but I've seen this happen a lot at other companies I worked at. Get a floor call, jump in the car, go show the house. This is a risky approach since history has taught us that talk is cheap. You'll get those floor calls. Well, hey, have you spoke to a lender yet? Or whatever you're going to say. Well, there's not going to be a problem with me getting approved. I'm good. I got a high credit score, all that kind of stuff. We know that that's not necessarily true. So we want to put them in our process, and if they don't want to participate in our process, then they're not a buyer. They can move on, they can call someone else. Simply wanting to buy a home doesn't make one a legitimate home buyer, right? So instead of hopping straight in the car, you should develop a habit of moving straight to the conference room with potential buyers for a focused meeting, which is even easier to do now with teleconferencing. Hey, do you have some time? How about we get off the phone? I'm going to send you a Zoom link. Let's get on a call. I'm going to go through our presentation for you. Then we'll figure out how we can work together. Does that sound okay to you? Yeah, sure. I've got an extra half hour right now. I don't have to go to work until 5 p.m. or whatever it is. So getting this buyer consultations has become so much easier with teleconferencing that everyone's embraced, that if they're not willing to get on a Zoom call with you for 15 or 30 minutes, then they really aren't a buyer. Unless they don't have the time right then you can schedule it for another day. They could say, you know what, no, I got to get to work right now. Great, how about 10 o'clock tomorrow? All right, 10 o'clock tomorrow works great. It's a great opportunity for you to separate from the herd of the average realtor and build a healthy win-win working relationship. So when they are coming into the office physically, then we're going to involve the front desk in our scripts, like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, Rob and Lynn will be right with you. So how about you have a seat out here? May I offer you something to drink? You want a coffee? You want a water or whatever? Yeah, sure, I'll take a water. Great, that would be my pleasure. She takes it in the conference room, says you'll be right there. Then you get on the channel, get on the buyer conversion channel about no distractions and never leave them waiting. So again, before you enter the room, clear your head of any and all distractions, outside distractions. Focus on the conversation at hand. One thing I always recommend, not in this situation, but in any situation, is don't take your cell phone with you for any reason for this meeting. A lot of people have a habit of taking their cell phone with them everywhere, and when they sit down to talk with someone, they set it on the table right next to them. That just sends a subconscious message that says, you know what? Yeah, I know I'm sitting here with you, and what you're saying is important, but I'm going to put my phone here because I'm waiting for someone better to call, or I'm waiting for a text message, or I'm waiting for this. So put your phone in your pocket, or don't even take it in the room at all, and focus on the conversation at hand. Then, imagine the desired result. What is your desired result from this first meeting? The desired result from this first meeting is to get them to sign a buyer agency contract. That's it. We're not focusing on showing them homes. We're not focusing on getting them to the closing table. We're focusing on creating a win-win working relationship that I'm going to help you find a house. you're going to commit to working with me. Does that sound fair? So building rapport. Hey, it's great meeting you, because the first time you talked to them was just over the phone. It was a floor call. It was an internet lead. It was a Facebook lead, whatever it was. Yeah, it's great. So before we get started, why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself? So the FORD is a dialogue that we're going to use a lot in the real estate business, not just for the first meetings, but for past clients later. You always, when you have a past client you haven't talked to in a while, the Ford dialogue works great. Hey, how's the family been? What are you doing for work? What have you been doing for fun? Are you doing anything fun this year? So we're going to use the same Ford dialogue when we first meet with the buyer. So family, are you originally from the area? How long have you lived here? No, we're not. Great. What brought you to Adrian, Michigan? Do you have any kids? Why are you moving? Those kind of questions. What do you do for a living? What made you get into that line of work? How do you like it? How long you been there? Recreation. What do you do for fun? Oh, I love to go fishing. Great. Do you have a boat? Yeah, I got a boat. I love to go fishing all the time. Well, hey, would it benefit you to be near a lake? Because you like to go fishing a lot, or near a public access somewhere. Yeah, that would be awesome. If I could get to a lake within 10 or 15 minutes from my house, I would probably go fishing more. Great. So that's recreation. Uncovered that. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live and why? So just asking them about their dreams. Oh man, I would love to live in South America. I would love to live in Vegas because I love nightlife, or whatever it is. This is about building rapport, but also uncovering some of their needs and wants when we talk about things like recreation and, hey, would you like to be close to a lake? Set the tone for the meeting, for the win-win relationship. Hey, first let me say I really appreciate you meeting with me, and I want you to understand that my goal today is to establish a foundation for a win-win working relationship. Remember, the things in bold are the things that you should really slip into your dialogue. The rest you can modify to fit your own personality. But this has been tested hundreds, if not thousands, of times with different companies and real estate coaches around the country. The bolded items just really work. So the foundation. So my goal today is to establish the foundation for a win-win working relationship. A lot of real estate agents are willing to sacrifice a win-win relationship in order to simply sell a house. And I want you to know right up front that I don't operate that way. With me, it's either win-win or no deal. Since this is going to be a large financial investment for you, we want to make sure you get the home you want, but more importantly, want the home you get. Therefore, before we get in the car, what we're going to do before we get in the car is define your perfect home, make certain of your financial parameters, what's your payment comfort level, then thoroughly discuss the roles and expectations necessary for us to start working together. Does that sound good to you? Great. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Again, confidentiality. Now, I want you to rest assured that anything said here today will remain totally confidential. So please feel free to be as open and as honest with me as you feel you can be. Are you ready? So again, the confidentiality piece is great because it just tells them that, first of all, it's implying that we're already working together. Hey, you know what? You can tell me everything you want. Everything you tell me stays confidential. So we're implying that we already have a working relationship, which gets them on the path to get that rolling around in their head, right? Oh, hey, you are my agent. Again, this is how professionals talk. This is how attorneys talk. This is how accountants talk. We want them to see us as a professional. This is how their doctor talks. Anything you tell me here today stays confidential. So we're portraying to them that we're a professional, and that we're implying that we're already working together. So you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you tell me anything here today is going to stay confidential. So please be open and honest, because it's going to help me do my job better. So are you ready? Great. What I would like to have each of you do is fill out this home criteria sheet. So we're going to give them a criteria sheet. There's a sample in the booklet here. You could customize your own. If there's 2 buyers there, give them each one. I'm going to step out for a moment, and I'm going to give you some time to complete it. Just open the door when you're done, and I'll come back. Did you want some more water? Did you want some more coffee? Okay, great. No cheating. Just kind of make some kind of joke on the way out. Once they're done, they're going to open the conference room door back up and say, great, how'd it go? Did you see value in using a sheet like this? We're going to say value because we're trying to tell them that we're providing them some value. Did you see value in using a sheet like this? All right, great. It's extremely important that we get focused, because reacting in the market without pre-established criteria is like going grocery shopping without a grocery list while you're hungry. Have you ever done that? Yeah, okay. I buy all kinds of stuff when I'm hungry and I go shopping. We're trying to build some rapport, try to make a little bit of joke. Like, hey, last time I did that, I came home with all kinds of stuff I didn't need. Same thing with buying a house. We're going to have a focused approach. We're not going to go out home shopping hungry. Does that make sense? So what I would like to do now is prioritize your wants. So we're good. This is the sample of the list criteria sheet. Since all of your needs are priority one, I would like to now do is prioritize your wants. So we're going to separate their needs from their wants. You know, maybe they need 4 bedrooms. You know what? We have 3 kids. We need 4 bedrooms. That's non-negotiable. Okay, so we know that 4 bedrooms is a need. It's non-negotiable. That's 100%. We would love to have 3 bathrooms. It's a want, but we could get by with 2 or 1.5. Okay, well, that's a need. A need is 1.5 or 2. A want is 3. So we're going to put wants over on one side of our paper. Looking at your wants, what is the one thing that makes all the others seem not as important? What's your number one want? Well, you know what? We have 3 kids. We would love to have it. We want to have a finished basement, so they have their own area. We have our own area upstairs. That's our number one want is finished basement. So it's not a deal breaker if we find a house without a finished basement, but it is your number one want. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Okay. What's your second most important want? You know, I'd love to have an attached garage. Okay, great. So it's the second most important want. Would a detached garage be okay? Well, it would be, but you know, it would be great if it was attached. Okay, so that's a want. And what's the third? So keep going through the list of all the wants that they wrote down. So we need to make sure that we're showing them homes that meet all of their needs and most of their wants. So the 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, those are needs. For 4 bedroom, 1.5 bath, those are needs. We want to make sure we're showing them that. Attached or detached garage is a want. A finished basement is a want, so not top priority. Again, stay curious and keep asking questions. You know, the person asking the most questions is in control of the conversation. So just stay curious about their needs and wants. Just keep asking questions. They need 3 bedroom with a study. Well, how about a 4 bedroom house? You could turn one into a study. Well, that'd be fine too, or whatever it is. Make sure you're engaging both people if there's 2 buyers there, because you don't want to, I mean, it's always natural for someone, even us as the agent, to gravitate towards one person that we might feel we connect better with. But if you're going to focus all of your questions to one person in that partnership, then the other person is going to feel left out, and they're not going to be 100% sold on signing a buyer agency contract with you. So always do your best. Be very, very conscious of engaging both people if there are 2 buyers in the room, to make sure they know that you're representing both of them, and it's going to be that much easier to get that contract signed. They're going to feel more comfortable with you if they can see it too, that you're making an effort to talk to both people equally. Then the transitional phrase, great. When we find the home that meets all your needs, then we're going to, once we have focused buyers, we must retest their motivation by asking the following questions. When we find the home that meets all of your needs and a majority of your wants, will there be anything keeping you from making an offer? Hopefully they say no. Great. Are you going to be paying cash, or will you be getting a loan? They might say something like, well, we're just looking right now, or I don't think we're ready to buy. All right, great. When will you be ready to buy? Well, I think we're gonna wait 3 to 12 months. Again, keep asking questions, stay curious. What's important about you waiting 3 to 12 months? They might have a legitimate answer like, well, we're in a lease. If we break our lease, we have to pay X amount of dollars. We want to wait till the school year is done before we move to a different school district because we don't want to deal with driving. Whatever that is, just again, stay curious and keep asking questions. Great, I really appreciate that. I understand you have a lease you need to fulfill, but I do sell homes on a daily basis. So we don't want to waste your time or have you fall in love with a home that may not be around when you're ready. So I highly recommend that we wait until you're fully committed to buying a home. Is that fair? And again, hopefully they say yes. So yeah, I see your point. You know, why am I going to look at houses now if I'm not going to be able to buy for 6 months? That's perfect. Great. Would you mind if I stayed in touch with you through email or phone call every now and then? That way, when you get ready to buy, we can find you a home that meets your specific needs and most of your wants. Then it talks about the 8 and 8 or the 16 touch program. These are just follow-up programs that you'll find inside of your database, your Lead Street, or if you use Top Producer or whatever you're going to use. They have these nurture programs, or you can create your own. You know, you can keep a notebook, you can keep a spreadsheet. Like, hey, I'm going to pull my spreadsheet up and make sure I contact my, my B buyers, or 3 to 6 months out, I'm going to call them twice a month. And the buyer says, yeah, that'd be fine. Just go ahead and stay in touch with me. So what if they say, well, we're just looking? I really appreciate that, but homes do, so again, we're going to say the same thing. Homes do sell on a daily basis. Well, I don't want to waste your time or have you fall in love with a home that may not be around when you're ready. I mean, remember, it's about them. It's not about me. I don't want to waste my time. It's about them. I don't want to waste your time or have you fall in love with a home that you may not be around when you're ready. I recommend that we wait until you're fully committed. Is that fair? No, I just want to go look. Okay, do you remember at the beginning of our conversation when I told you that I was here to create a win-win working relationship? I think we may have just violated that agenda. I mean, we have a common goal, and that is getting you into your perfect home. Is that correct? Well, great. I'm going to commit 100% of my efforts for finding you your perfect home. All I ask is that when we find the home, you be prepared to buy it. Otherwise, the overall goal of getting you into your perfect home has not been accomplished. Does that make sense? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Then shouldn't we wait to make this a win-win relationship from the start? And again, if they say no, I just want to look at houses, even though they've already told us they're not ready to buy. All right, next, they're not motivated. They might be qualified and loyal, but they're not motivated to buy right now. So we're gonna say, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry. However you want to have the conversation. Again, this isn't going to be a win-win working relationship. So, we're gonna have to go our separate ways. So again, if they do say yes to the previous questions and we're convinced that we have motivated buyers, the next step is to test their ability to pay. Are they qualified? Are you going to be paying cash or will you be getting a loan? A loan. Okay, great. Do you have a loan or a lender that you're working with? No. Okay. Do you know a lender with whom you would be comfortable working with? Do you want to work with your bank? Or do you, they say, yes, great. I'm going to go work with First Federal Bank. Great. Have you met with them yet? I know Fran down there. She's awesome. Let me find her number. They might say, yeah, I've talked to her already. She's working on it. She's going to have a letter for me later today. Or they might say, no, they don't have a lender they want to work with. Okay, so since you don't have a lender, here's a list of people that are preferred lenders that we work with. And they're all equally great. We love them all. They're all hard workers. You can pick whoever you want. We just want to give you some choices, or you can shop around to all of them to see who's going to give you the best rate. A few more questions, and these are some of the things that come out in the buyer consultation slideshow that I'll share with you that we do. Making sure they have enough funds available to start home shopping. When you're first time home buyer, you're going to have your earnest money deposit. Do you have money saved up for your home inspection? Do you have money for your closing costs? Again, these are qualifying questions that, we're hoping for a zero down loan. So it's going to help us identify, okay, we know that we need to show you homes that qualify for rural development that are going to be zero down, whatever. These are some more qualifying questions that are also going to help us find them the home they want. Again, do not pre-qualify your buyers first, as this may make them feel cheap and eliminate any referral opportunities. We're going to be very careful when we go through the qualifying conversation to make sure that we're not saying things like, I want to make sure you're pre-approved. I want to make sure you qualify. I want to make sure you have some money. And if these are things for the lender to sort out, we're just going to refer them to a lender. That's all we're doing here. We're trying to, again, we're trying to see if they need a lender referral. Then we're going to ask them some questions if they have, the funds available for down payment, or are they looking for zero down? What kind of house are you looking for? Then we're going to go over roles and expectations. This is the loyalty part. We're going to make sure they're okay. We know they're motivated. We know they're qualified. Now we need to make sure that they're loyal. Hey, let's switch gears for a moment. It's been my experience that conflict only arises when expectations differ. Would you agree? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. With that in mind, let me share with you what I feel you have the right to expect from me as your real estate consultant. So we have the my role and your role, which are also in this booklet, but I will send you the ones I have that have our company letterhead on them. You're gonna slide them the piece of paper, or you're gonna screen share it if you're doing a teleconference. Like, hey, here's my role. This is going to be a partnership. Let me share with you what I feel I have the right to expect from you as my partner. So then you're gonna go over the your role thing. Here's what I can expect from you. So my role, I'm not going to go through all these. You can read these on your own, but treat all parties fairly and honestly. And, I'm going to be on time for all meetings. I'll be open and honest with you. I'm going to represent your best interest. I'm going to schedule all your home showings for you. I'm only going to show you homes that meet your criteria, and all of those kind of things. Then what is your role? So their role, again, be on time for all meetings. Make all appointments or call in a timely manner if you can't make it. Do not make any large purchases or incur debt without first consulting your loan consultant. Don't go buy a washer and dryer for your new house. Number 5, make sure you're staying in regular contact with your lender to keep the process moving along quickly. make an informed and intelligent offer immediately after finding your perfect home. I'm going to consult you and tell you what I think is fair market value. I'm going to give you the information, but I just need you to, if you agree, then you're going to make an offer. Number 7, loyalty. Again, you can expect a lot from me. I expect that you're going to commit to working with me as your agent. Inform me immediately if anything changes, and notify me if you're leaving town for longer than 1 week. And of course, the most important, have fun and enjoy the process. Buying a home is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. So I want you to have fun and enjoy the process. And if you're ever feeling like it's not fun anymore, tell me what's going on and we'll talk about it. Again, and to ensure buyer loyalty, only A buyers get invited to go look at homes with you. So you must confirm you're dealing with someone who's loyal. I've been in this business 19 years, and I went through so many small independent companies that had zero training program, that didn't teach us this stuff. And I probably have shown homes to hundreds, if not 1,000 people who didn't buy one from me because I was the reactive realtor. I got a floor call, jumped in their house, showed them a house, and they never called me back again or would not answer my calls after that. So again, only A buyers get to look at homes with me, because then I have a better chance of actually getting paid if I know that they're motivated, qualified, and loyal. You're not going to sell 100% of the buyers that you get in your car, but you're going to sell a higher percentage of them if you know that they're motivated, qualified, and loyal. Because people's life situation changes. They might decide they're not going to buy, they're going to move out of state, whatever it is, but you're going to close and collect more commissions if you go through this process than you do if you don't qualify them or make sure that they're loyal. The loyalty dialogue, again, these are great to practice with another agent here or someone else in your family or sphere of influence. I would love to commit to finding you your perfect home, and I must ask one thing from you in return: that you commit to working exclusively with me. Now, by exclusively, I mean if you attend any open houses or talk to any new home builders without me, just let them know that you are happily represented by me. If you drive by a home, see a home in a magazine, or see a home online that meets your criteria, you call me. Screenshot it. If you see it on Zillow, send it to me. Also, that you will not solicit the service of any other realtor while searching for your perfect home. I know sometimes it's tempting. You see a house online, you have one quick question, like I'm just going to click this button and ask the listing agent. If you click on the Ask an Agent or ask for information on Realtor or Zillow.com, it does not go to the listing agent. So you're going to get another buyer's agent that's going to try to get your business. So if you see something online, you do not solicit the service of any other realtor. You're hiring me, and that's my job. So I don't care how simple the question is, just get a hold of me and I'll take care of it. Does that sound fair to you? Yes? All right, great. I can guarantee the best service in the industry if you could guarantee me your loyalty. So what do you say? Hopefully, again, the answer is yes. If it's not, then we keep going through any other objections. Okay, now that you've uncovered everyone's roles, you can end mutual expectations by saying, so do you think we have clearly defined our roles and expectations? Again, hopefully they say yes. Okay, do you think they're fair? Yes, I think it's fair. Is there anything else that we should be included in our list of our roles? No, I think those are good. Do you see value in what I do? Yes, great. So again, we're creating value. We're showing them that we're different from other agents. We're showing them that we're professionals, and our job is to get them the house they want, but also for them to want the house they get. Again, so then your transitional phase. Okay, great. After our conversation, I feel we have the makings of a great working relationship. So remember, motivated, qualified, and loyal people buy homes. They need to be all three before you show them houses. So if the buyer, and again, this is about self-discovery. So them self-discovering what working with you is going to be like, that you're professional. And if you've done your job and done it great through this process, then closing them to sign the buyer agency agreement should be pretty easy. After our conversation, I feel we have the makings of a win-win working relationship. Would you agree? Yes, I do. Great. Would you like me to represent you in the purchase of finding your perfect home? Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love to work with you. Great. So here's our buyer agency agreement. Let me explain this to you really quick. So, okay, they sign that. Then, okay, what I would like to do is now we're going to take a break for a day or two. I'm going to go do my homework. I've got your needs list. I got your wants list. I'm going to go make sure I find some homes that fit what you're looking for. I'm going to search my for sale by owner inventory that we keep in the office. I'm going to search for sale by owners online for you as well. And again, if you talk to a for sale by owner, or you see a for sale by owner, you see a sign in the yard, send me the address, send me the phone number. Most for sale by owners are willing to work with a buyer's agent. So just go ahead and send that to me. I'm gonna work really hard to find you the house. I'm gonna leave no stone unturned. Your homework is to go get the lender that I referred. Does that sound good? All right, great. When would be a good time for us to get back together to review what I've found and to view homes? So again, we're always going to end every time the way that someone stays an A buyer that you have appointments with is you always end every meeting or every home showing tour with another appointment. So we're ending this meeting by saying, all right, great. When should we get back together to review what I found and to review what your lender told you? Hey, I can, this could be a phone meeting. This could be a video meeting. This could be back in the office, however you want to do it. But we're going to set up a time for us to, hey, let's meet back up in 2 days. Give me 2 days to do my research. That gives you 2 days to get work with your lender to find out what your payment comfort level is. How about I give you a call on Thursday at 5 o'clock? Great, I'll be get off work at 4:30. That would be perfect. Hey, here's a blank purchase agreement. Please take this with you, review it. I'm also going to send you a video that's going to explain the purchase agreement. It's a screen sharing video I did. Watch that. Take this paper copy with you, review it. If you have any questions, let me know. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with our purchase agreement before you make an offer on a house. Does that sound okay? Yes, okay. So hey, it was great meeting you today. I look forward to working with you in your journey to find the perfect home. Again, between meetings, you must complete the following homework. Send them a thank you letter, a handwritten note. People love handwritten notes. You know, we do a lot of things electronically, but almost everybody I know that loves getting a handwritten note in the mail. Start your buyer file on dotloop. That's going to have your buyer agency agreement in it. You'll call the loan officer that they said they were going to talk to. Verify their price ceiling if it's not quite as much as the lender's willing to do. And then go into the MLS and for sale owner inventory and look at, finding the homes that they want. Again, once you find a list of homes, verify it's available, request disclosures if they're not in the MLS, prepare showing packages for homes that meet, over 2/3 of their criteria. Showing packages would include the MLS printout, copy of the disclosures, whatever else is available online, might be a satellite photo showing the lot lines. Again, and if you're working in Paragon, I always do the client full package format. That's going to give them all the information. It's going to give multiple photos, and it's not going to have listing agent's information on it. It's going to have your information on it. So again, that's client full package in Paragon. Or pick whichever one you want, but that's the one I use just because it does not have the listing agent stuff on it. It has my stuff. Skip this, MLS sheets, pricing information, schedule showings at least a day in advance. I don't do pricing information when I do it personally for every single listing we're going to go look at. I wait until they pick one, then I'll do a CMA, my own CMA. So you can have that conversation with them as well. Like, hey, here's a list of all the homes we're going to look at today. Once you pick one that you have real interest in, I'm going to do a little bit deeper research. I'm going to determine whether that's fair market price or not before you make an offer. So you can just tell them that in advance. So meeting number 2 would be, again, getting out and looking at some homes. You can start it in the office if you want, or you can just meet them at the first house, however you want to do it. If you do meet them in the office, we're going to, hey, here's the homes we're going to look at today. Talk about the houses, ask them if they had a chance to review the purchase agreement that you gave with them, ask if they have any questions on that. It's always great to have a copy of their driver's license in dotloop, because a lot of times, doesn't happen often, but sometimes you might get to the closing table and you know what, I forgot my driver's license at home, which kind of creates a delay. So plus gives you a chance to verify their identity before going out and touring homes with them. Hey, can I get a copy of your driver's license for my file? This is something that the title company is going to ask for later when we close. It's just best to get it up front. And go to the car again, whether they're going with you, if it's one person or 2 people, if you're comfortable with that, which we can't do at the moment, but when we can, if you're comfortable with that. What I found is most people just want to drive their own car. That's just how it is. So people just follow you. Hey, in case we get separated, do you know where we're going? Those kind of things. Most people have GPS in their car. And again, remember, we're only going to show homes to motivated, qualified, and loyal buyers. If you do decide to have your client ride with you, it's a great way to build that relationship even deeper, so you know that they're going to stay loyal to you. Just ask them some questions on the way to the house. Once you get to the neighborhood, hey, do you like this neighborhood? They might pull up and say, you know what, I don't like the neighborhood. I don't like the way the house looks from the outside. All right, great, let's keep moving on. My suggestion is if you do get to a house and they say, you know what, I don't even want to go inside, because it does happen. It's a professional, courteous thing for you to do as the realtor, to go in, leave your card on the counter so the home seller knows that you were there. If it's a vacant house and you know it's vacant, then fine, skip it, whatever. But nope, there's nothing that frustrates a home seller more or makes you look bad than when they get home after leaving their house for an hour, only to find that you didn't even go inside. So courteous thing to do is, just tell your client, you know what, give me 2 minutes. I just want to go leave my card on the counter so the seller knows that we were here. So hold on, I'll be right back. So if the client likes the neighborhood, get in front of the house. Hey, do you like how the house looks? They might say yes. They might say no. Again, if they say no, let's move on. Again, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to run inside, put my card on the counter so the seller knows that we were here. They love everything. Go inside, look around. Hopefully, when you get there, the lights are all on. If not, go inside, turn all the lights on as quickly as you can, just because it shows better. And just go through the house with them, but do not play tour guide. You're going, hey, this is a living room. This is the kitchen. They can see that. So we don't need to explain it to them as a tour guide. Just walk through the house with them. And my approach has always been working with home buyers is that, first of all, if I find something that doesn't meet their wants and needs in the house, I'm going to point it out. Hey, you know what? You said you really, really needed 1.5 baths. This only has 1 full bathroom. There's a toilet in the basement. I don't consider it a half bath, but apparently the listing agent did. I just wanted to point that out. Or you remember they're walking through the house as not someone that looks at houses every day, and you're the person that looks at houses every day. So make sure you're looking at that with a very discerning eye. Go in the basement. Say, hey, you know what? I noticed there's like a watermark here on the bottom step. It looks like the basement flooded at one time. The seller's disclosure says the basement has not flooded, so maybe there's something we don't know about the house. But I wanted to point that out. It could have flooded 10 years ago before this person owned it, but I just thought I should point it out to you. So again, we're going to go through the house, look for water stains on the ceiling, look for windows that may not work or whatever. It's your job to point out any concerns or defects that you might find, but also point out some of the special features. Like, hey, you know what? This has some great granite countertops. You said you wanted granite countertops. Do you like this color? Things like that. Again, some qualifying questions or some closing questions. Hey, can you see yourself living in this house? No, it's too small, or it has no view, or there's a commercial building across the street, or whatever it is. So again, just asking those qualifying questions when you're done touring. Hey, can you see yourself living here? If they say yes, then great. It becomes the next home to which this becomes the house which all the next ones are going to compare to. Or ask the question, hey, let's play a game. If you had to buy a home today and this was the only home available, would you buy it? They say yes, great, it's a contender. They say no, okay, just tear the showing your copy of the showing package in half. It's just a funny kind of dramatic thing to do to kind of send the message that, okay, this one's off the table then. Because what you don't want them to do after looking at 5 homes is go home and keep thinking about 5 homes. You want them, the ones that they said yes they would buy it if it's the last one on the market, that's the one that you want them to be thinking about. It might be 2 of the 5. So this kind of sends a dramatic message that says, okay, this home is no longer a viable option. So when you go home, I don't want you to even think about this house. Closing dialogue. So do you remember, so if they do say yes to, if this was the only home available, they would buy it. I said, great, we have 6 more homes to tour. Would you like to see those, or shall we see how this one looks on paper? They might say, hey, let's continue looking. Or they might say, you know what, this is really the one. I don't want to see the rest of them. That's fine. Give me 5 minutes. I need to get on my showing time app and cancel all the next showings that we're going to, so everyone knows that they don't need to leave their house. So give me 5 minutes. I'll meet you back at the office in 20 minutes. That sound good? Or if they say, let's continue looking, we're going to go through the same thing for the second house. Do you like this better than the previous home that you said was a contender? If they say yes, okay, the number 1's off the table now. Tear that sheet up. If they say no, I don't like this better than the last one, right, then I'm going to tear this one up, because house 1 still remains the home that's the contender. If your client doesn't like any of the homes that you toured along the way, go back through your needs analysis phase of the process. You know what? I really thought I nailed it. We had 5 houses we looked at today. I really thought these had most of all of your needs and most of your wants. Maybe let's reevaluate. Maybe see what I missed. Again, remember, it's unacceptable to leave your clients' money on the table. It's one of their core beliefs. Once the perfect home has been found, let's close with, hey, let's see how this looks on paper. They might say, I want to think about it. I want to sleep on it. I want to pray about it. That's great. I definitely think that's what you should do. Let me ask you one question, though. If this home sells tonight, are you going to be okay with that? I mean, someone may have looked at this home last night, thought about it, and then they're in their agent's office right now writing an offer. I'll be okay if it sells. I just want to make sure that you'll be okay if it sells. They might say, yes, I'll be okay if it sells. This is the process. We don't make any decisions quickly. We always want to sleep on it. Okay, great. Do you have a plan B? Well, we don't have one. Do you have a backup home? Well, we don't have one. Hey, since we're here together, my advice is let's complete the contract. If you decide you want to make an offer, pick up tomorrow morning, call me, and I will pick it up immediately. This way we don't waste any unnecessary time. How does that sound? Or this is even easier. You don't have to sit there and write it with me. Since you think this home is a contender and it might be the house for you, how about I'll put the offer together in dotloop. I'll send it to both of your emails to sign. If you decide you want to buy it tonight or tomorrow morning, complete the signatures and I'll send it to the listing agent right away, and hopefully we don't miss it. Does that sound fair to you? Yes, that sounds great. So then they leave your office, you work on putting an offer together electronically, send it to their email, send them a text. Hey, just so you know that offer's in your inbox. If you change your mind, you want to make an offer tonight, sign it. I'll take care of it. If you want to do it in the morning, that's great too. Lowball offers. The buyer wants to make an offer that is extremely below market value, verify their motivation. We could do that, but are you looking for a home or are you looking for a deal? Well, I want both. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. Are you prepared to lose the home you want trying to get a deal? No, I really, really want that house. We really think that's the one. All right, great. Let me tell the seller that you're willing to offer what you're willing to offer so we don't offend her or him, or get in a counter offer situation and allow someone else to sneak in and submit a better offer. If this is your perfect home, let's not take any chances. Let's make your first offer your best offer. Well, what do you mean I might offend them? Well, you know what? If we can't justify your price beyond the fact that you're looking for a deal, we're sending the message that they have to lose in order for you to win. So that kind of starts off with an adversarial relationship from the beginning. It may not be the best approach, given that we were probably going to be asking the seller to make certain repairs or other concessions once under contract. So, understand, I'm going to support you and do whatever you tell me. You hired me to represent you. However, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't inform you of the potential consequences that go along with this approach in making a less than fair market value offer. So what would you like to do? So really it just gets them in that conversation of, well, you know what, I really want the house, so let's go ahead. What do you suggest? They might ask your opinion at that point. A lot of people still think we're in a buyer's market, which we're not. It's been a seller's market. We're here in 2020 and it's been a seller's market for about 6 years now with low inventory. So we just need to inform them and educate them about what kind of market we're in, so we know that they make a intelligent and informed decision is what we're looking for. So this is a supplemental material. This is the complete buyer process, some sample thank you letters you can look at on your own, write your own. Not working together. We might go through that first meeting and we decide that we're not going to work together because they don't want to commit to working with us. So still send them a thank you note. Hey, I understand we won't be working together. I wish you the best of luck in looking for and finding your future house. So we're still ending that relationship on a good note, because they may come back to us. People come back all the time. Hey, I started working with this agent from X realty company. They weren't very good. I really think that you're a professional. Hey, let's work together. So again, even if we're not working together, send them a thank you note. Hey, thanks for meeting with me. I really appreciated your time. The steps to completing your complete buyer file on dotloop. Vendor sheets. These are things that are in dotloop. The co-op agent, the title company, and that's it. Thanks for joining the webinar today. If you have any questions, let me know. Of course, I have the my role, your role sheets in Remax letterhead I'll send to you, along with our buyer consultation slideshow if I have not sent that to you yet. And get out there and practice. Remember, practice with people you know, because if you practice it 100 times with someone you know, it's going to be a lot more natural when you're meeting with an actual buyer. So that's really the key, is internalizing the dialogue, remembering the bolded portions that are the important parts, but fitting the rest of it to fit your personality. And you'll win. You'll convert more buyers, and more buyers converted means more closings and more commission checks. So thanks for watching, and see you next Thursday.